Hello?
Hi, hello, is this Anderson?
Yes.
Hey, Anderson, this is Tiny Bryson. Just want you to know it's going to be recorded and potentially uploaded to YouTube. How can I help you?
Yeah, so I've been, getting into like stocks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to someone on the app called Clubhouse talking about how he thinks the market's about to crash, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I saved a bunch of money that I have on the side that I could invest right now, and then like I started only a little bit. It's not that much. I was
Mm-hmm.
wondering, do you really think it's about to crash anytime soon? And with that money that I got saved up, should I invest it or should I wait and see how the market, goes?
How old are you, man?
I'm 19.
19. How much money do you have to invest?
Well, I saved about like 3,000 right now.
Okay. How do you save it up?
Well, with my job last year,
What job do you have? What job did you have?
well, I worked at some place called Giant Food Store, but right now, I'm actually going into a new role as well, I have to take my insurance license first, but once I get that done, I'll be working for Allstate.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So I'm guessing, what state are you in, by the way?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. What's the minimum wage over there? Like $12, $15?
I think it's like 12. Yeah.
$12. Okay. Now, how much money were you making at this grocery store, basically?
It was it was it was supposed to be 11, but then we got like $2 extra because of the
13.
coronavirus.
Okay. Now, here's the thing, right? It sounds like this. Tommy, I worked last year a lot. I made some money. I saved some money. Now I'm wondering what to invest this money into. Now, the idea is I asked you how much you actually work, how many hours you got paid, all that stuff, because basically $3,000 divided by 13 is somewhere around 230 hours of your time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you were to invest this money the wrong way, you would be basically potentially putting all this time at risk. Now, my question is this, okay? Let's say, for example, I could wave a magic wand and tell you basically, hey, the market is going to crash, okay? What would you invest your money into?
Well, to be honest, I probably start up with like technology companies, like the basics with like Apple or Tesla.
Okay. So you're talking about picking stocks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just go into an exercise here, right? Why would you pick Tesla? And why would you pick Apple?
Well, to be honest, with Tesla, well, it's not doing that good right now, but I think it's something in the future
Define good.
with like well, so like I already invested some with Tesla, but it's not a lot. It was like, and it's like last time I checked, it was bad. It was down. Let me
Mm-hmm.
check right now. So like, but I think it's something like at my age, I don't really care how to, because in the future, I think it's gonna be good. So like, I'm gonna buy and hold it, and
Mm-hmm.
then with Apple, I think like Apple's like a basic company. Well, not basic, but I think it's one of the companies you can invest when you don't really know what you're doing yet.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's what it sounds like. It sounds like you don't know what you're doing, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
sounds like, Tommy, I'm young, so I can take some risks. It sounds like you're forgetting how many hours you have to work to get that money that you're actually spending, right?
True.
230 hours. If that money goes away, you lost all that time, right? That's the big goal here. Now, by the way, when you don't know what you're doing when investing, the idea is it's kind of like, for example, you have your license.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you don't know how to drive, you don't have a license, would you feel comfortable with me telling you, hey, get in the car, I'm not going to be there with you, put your family in the car, and go drive on this highway? Would you do it?
No,
Why not?
because it's not safe. It's a risk.
Okay. Okay. Now, what would you do before you do that? What would you say to me?
Go
What would you say, Tommy, what do I want to do this first? What would you do first?
go get my license.
Okay. And what else? Train how to drive, right? Figure out how to drive, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with investing. It's not that complicated. People think that basically just because you can and there's no restriction, you should. But if you don't know how to, the big thing is when you lose money, you're losing time. And for example, when you see people talk on Instagram or Clubhouse or YouTube, whatever it is, right? A lot of us here make a lot of money, right? So if we invest $100,000 or $10,000, it might not hurt us the same way it's gonna hurt you. That's why my whole channel is about basically just investing into index funds. I'm not out here like saying like, oh, I make so much money, so I can just basically put this money in this. If it loses, no matter what, I don't really care about it. No, I care about every single dollar that I actually have. I'm very big on no speculation. So when you're basically investing into a stock, the idea is you have to understand the fundamental value of that stock. It's more like a stock is just a piece of a business. A business can then be gone ahead and basically evaluated by the investor. Meaning, if you want to invest into Apple or Tesla, you look at the company as a business, not as a stock or a little ticker symbol that it was this much last year, now it's this much this year, so I'm expecting it to be this much next year. That's not what it is, right? It's a business. A business has customers, it has sales, it has income, it has a product, it has a management team, it has competition, it has all these things, competitive advantage, right? It has profit margins, it has a balance sheet, it has an income statement, a cash flow statement, and 10K form, a 10Q form. So your job as an investor is to go out there and look at every single piece of information about this company. But not just that though, because once you find the company, there's also the competition. So now your job is to go ahead and look at the competition and make sure the competition is not as good an investment as your current investment. Okay, so does that sound like a lot of work to you? Be honest.
To be honest, no.
You think that's a lot of work?
No, I don't like. I mean, with the research and things like that, like with my schedule currently right now, I could do that. Probably in the future, no.
Okay, I'll tell you this, right? For me, it's a lot of work because it takes Warren Buffett around 8 hours a day to actually do it, right? And he might invest, for example, into one stock a year. That's how crazy this is. It's a lot of work. It's like you literally looking through little grains of salt or like grains of sand, trying to find like one piece of diamond or one piece of gold in that grain of, like in those all those grains of sands or whatever, right? It's a lot of work to actually go into it. Now, if you want to do that, I'll point you in the direction. The direction is basically you want to read, for example, you want to read Security Analysis by Benjamin Graham and also The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham also. Those two books right there are going to set you up for being a pretty good investor. However, when you read those books, you say, Tommy, you know what? I don't want to do all this work. I don't want to learn accounting. I don't want to learn finance. I don't want to be 8 hours looking at financial statements every single day. That's not what I want to do. If that's not what you want to do, the answer is what I do is I invest into index funds, right? That's my main thing. So index funds meaning, for example, give me 1 second, brother, okay? 1 second. Yeah, so basically what I invest is into basically index funds and ETFs, right? And the core idea is basically, if I'm going to go ahead and not do all that research and all that work, I just basically want to get a piece of the overall market, right? So I buy a piece of the whole stock market, meaning whatever the stock market is going to do for that year, I get that. Over the long term, my money is going to be growing and growing and growing and growing, but I'm not having to do all that work. On top of that, I'm not going out there and basically speculating. Now, a part of every investor wants to speculate. So my advice would be this, okay? If you want to, for example, say, hey, Tommy, I also want to play around with Tesla and Apple. Just grab 10% of your money and follow the 90-10 rule. 90% goes into, for example, things you actually understand, like index funds and ETFs, like for the long term, retirement accounts and so on. And 10% goes towards, for example, speculation. Things you don't know anything about, but it's just gambling. If you lose money, great. If you don't, you make money, great. But the answer is you don't add any more money to that account whatsoever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what does it sound like you want to do personally right now, currently, after that information?
Well, you gave me 2 books. I think I'm gonna read because I think the problem with me, I'm trying to rush things too quick.
You're 19, bro.
So,
You're good.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like, I think the money that I have saved, I'm gonna just hold it and see and like save more money, and then I'm gonna read to see what's the best option for me.
I'll tell you this. I'll give you a third book, right? The first book is The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. The second book is Security Analysis by Benjamin Graham and also David Dodd. The third book is Little Book About Common Sense Investing by John C. Bogle. Those 3 books are going to change your life as far as investing. They'll tell you if you are cut out, for example, for picking stocks or, for example, for just basically doing what I do, which is basically index fund investing. Now, if I were you, I'm being honest, okay? If I'm 19 years old, my focus would be, hey, how can I get a skill? to basically pay for with this money that I actually have to graduate either debt free or get, for example, a trade job or whatever it is, and basically have a skill to be able to earn more money. Once you can earn more money, you're making, for example, $40,000, 50K, or 60K, you can then go ahead and, for example, invest a lot more money. That way, you get to your goal a lot more faster. But on minimum wage and basically risking your $3,000, it's going to be very difficult to get there. You might get lucky here and there, but the long-term thing about investing is basically you need to make this like a career in a way, right? So it's not like about making money this year, but about making money, for example, for the long term. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What would you want to do as far as career-wise?
Well, so I'm also like a full-time college student, but I was
Okay.
not trying to wait all 4 years and like work like side jobs or like part-time jobs. So that's why at the same time I'm trying to get my
Mm-hmm.
um insurance license so I could
Mm-hmm.
sell property and casualty insurance. And then once I do that, like by the time probably next year, I'm trying to go for my real estate license.
Mm.
And like you said, like I'm trying to get more skills down. In the future, I know I want to be like an educator, but then I'm trying to also have a side business into the side, a side business, but I don't know what business I want yet.
You know what it sounds like to me? You're 19 years old and you don't know what you want to do. That's what it sounds like to me, and that's normal. It sounds like you just want to go out there and taste things, and that's perfectly fine. When I was your age, I was doing, for example, work study. I was working at the Gap. I was doing YouTube. I was doing phone flipping, sneaker flipping. I was doing everything I could possibly do to figure out, hey, what do I like? What am I good at? And what's gonna give me the biggest return? What's gonna pay me money? Okay. Now, what are you studying in college right now?
I'm a sociology major.
A sociology major?
Yeah.
What made you pick that?
Well, I like to learn about like why do people do the things they do, and like how does like policies and stuff like that affect a
Mm-hmm.
community.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you a question. When you pick that career, right? Because there's like books in sociology, there's like courses online about sociology. But again, like when you go to college, right? The overall thing is I'm paying you money to teach me something that's gonna pay me money. So when you pick that degree, was it just because I like this, or was basically I went online, did research, and found that hey, I'm gonna make X amount of money?
Well, I did some research when it came to it, but then like last time I checked, I did another research about a couple weeks ago, and I think it was like CNBC talking about like the majors that pay the less money, and I think they said like social science is like one of the things that
Mm-hmm.
is becoming less popular. I did start panicking, but then I felt like honestly, I don't think a degree. I think it's more if there's other things that determines what type of job you get instead of a degree. In my opinion, I
Now
feel
here's
like
the thing. Stop right there. Stop right there, right, Anderson? You're going to college to get a degree to get a job within that field. If you're going to college to get a degree, you're not gonna work that field, it's a waste of money. That's the big
true.
thing there, right? So yeah, you don't need, for example, a degree to get certain types of job. But if you're gonna go to college, if you're just there for just like the little journey, that's gonna be a waste of money. It's like, for example, me going to college for accounting and then being, for example, a bartender, right? It makes no sense. So whatever degree you do pick, and by the way, you're 19 years old. If you want, you can switch your major anytime you actually want. And you're probably not even, for example, done with your gen ed courses. So all those credits are gonna be transferred over to like your other major. So you'll be just fine. But the answer is gonna be, I would go to labor statistics, right? Because it sounds like to me, Tommy, insurance sounds like real estate, sounds like education. It sounds like an overall idea of finance. Like probably like a degree in finance would probably fit you a little bit better. So you want to go labor statistics, look up basically like degrees, how much money they earn, job prospects, and potential growth for the future, and pick one based on those things. Now, while I'm in college, right? Do you get financial aid? You have scholarships? Any of that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any student loans right now?
No.
Okay, awesome. Take advantage of that. Are you in community college or private school or state college? What are you in?
I'm in state college, but I live at home. Plus, my school's like 15 minutes away. With my
Awesome.
scholarships, I'm not paying that much.
Okay, awesome. Now consider, for example, once you're done, for example, with those gen ed courses, saying, "Hey, I want to transfer over to maybe like a degree that actually makes sense for me." Nursing degrees, like I don't know if you want to do something like that, or like finance, like things that are very specific. so like they specialize, those tend to do the best. Again, you want to do labor statistics to find out exactly what it is. Now, if I were you, I would do three things while in college. The first thing is focus on paying for college for cash, because eventually you probably have to pay some cash out of pocket for that. So have a job when that time comes. On top of that, while I'm there, if you want to work and get a license, for example, in insurance or for example in real estate, if you get your real estate license, when you come out of school, bro, that's when every time comes out of work. So you can still go out there, show the people like the houses and everything like that. So it's like the perfect time. So you can still do college while you try out the real estate thing. If it's not for you, by the way, real estate license is more, for example, like for selling real estate. It's not for being a real estate investor. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So if you want to sell real estate, again, this is sales. Insurance is also sales, right? So if you want to do those things, you can do it also while going to college. All right, but I wouldn't recommend you stay in college doing a degree that is not going to get you any money in the future, because it's a waste of 4 years. It's a big difference. For example, if my name is Anderson, I graduate, I get a job making $50,000 or $70,000. By the way, you can probably get a combined degree or maybe like a license in finance too. That's also a possibility. You know, like if you wanted something in finance, there's also license for that. If you want to do insurance, it's all about just trying things. If you try out the insurance thing while you're in college and says, you know what, I'm going to do this instead, you can do that instead. You know, if you want to go back to college later, you can if you want to. But remember, right, when you have commission only jobs, usually like the real estate thing and also, for example, like the insurance thing, let's say, for example, like a base pay, the answer's gonna be like some days or some weeks you might not get any money in the beginning. Okay, so that's a part of the game.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm actually on the labor website
Statistics.
right now.
Yeah, just look it over, man. I got very lucky when I went to college and I picked, for example, accounting. But if it was up to me, I wouldn't even know what to pick, honestly. You know, I just got very lucky. So just make sure, like, and by the way, before you pick something or say like, it's not for me, like, once you find the career, you find like the college and the curriculum, go to like YouTube and look up like those like courses, and then just check those out. You know, like, oh, this course is actually pretty interesting. I'm actually interested in this, and look up, for example, what the whole work life is like. You know, there's vlogs and everything on YouTube, so you can find those people either like on Instagram or YouTube talking about their jobs and seeing like exactly like, does it sound like something that you want to do, right? It's all about trying things and testing things out.
Okay, then I'll definitely do that.
All right, brother. You have any more questions?
No, thank you. I actually learned a lot, and yeah, I think I need to slow down.
Yeah, just slow down, man. And listen, man. Remember, um, you'll see a lot. It's like you ever seen a movie and everyone looks so cool, and then you see them in person, they're like an actor, like a normal person. It's the same thing
Yeah.
with YouTube, man. You know, all these guys are like investing a lot of money, making a lot of money. But again, right now the market is up. I'm making a lot of money by doing what I do also, right? But when the market is down, people are losing money. What's gonna happen then? You know, my thing is I'm not willing to tell you, hey, yeah, Anderson, put your money into Tesla or Apple or Bitcoin or Dogecoin or whatever it is, and you might make money, right? Because I know what it's like. You made $12 an hour, like $13 an hour. I made $8 an hour for like around almost like a year and a half, you know? So I know what it's like when you're like, don't make that much money and trying to put that money to work. When that capital leaves your pocket and you basically spend it on trash, guess what? You have to work all over again to make that capital. Okay?
All right.
All right, brother. So take your time. I'll see you next time. And by the way, these calls are like a one-time thing. So once you decide on whatever you want to do, if you want to call me back, just schedule an appointment. I'll call you. Okay? Have fun.
All right then. Thank you. Have a good
All
day.
right. All right. You too, Anderson. All right, guys. So that right there was Anderson, you know, and, you know, I see these conversations a lot. You know, Tommy, I'm young. I want to invest. I don't care about my money. You got to care about your money when you ain't got no money, because that's the only money you got. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I don't have that much money, so I'm going to risk everything. That's not how investing works. That's when basically you got to protect your investment, your seed money at all costs. That's why your investments have to be able to actually give you something back some way, somehow. So that's why, for example, the biggest investment you're ever going to make is probably going to be in yourself. You know, if I have $3,000, I put that towards college or whatever I actually want to do, that's going to be the best output for me. Because if I put $3,000 or 10K or 30K into a career and pay cash for it, guess what happens? When I graduate, that pays me a lot of money. On top of that, going to college saying, hey, the degree I get doesn't matter. I'll get a job in this or whatever it is. Then why go to college in the first place? It's a waste of time and also a waste of money. But the big thing is, hey, my name is Anderson. I'm not paying for college right now, but eventually when you have to take out loans, that's when it's going to hurt more and more and more and more. So you gotta be very, very careful with this stuff, man. Don't risk your capital. Because you see somebody else willing to do that doesn't mean you should either. Because someone else is winning doesn't mean they're right. It's a big misconception, you know. Because I made an investment, and I made, for example, a lot of money, doesn't mean I'm right. The answer is, it only means I'm right if I knew exactly what I was doing. If I didn't, then I just got lucky. And getting lucky is not a reliable investment format. Does that make sense, guys? That's the whole goal here. My goal is to tell you how to do things, to teach you how to do things. If you want to be a stock picker, great. I'll show you where to go. But the answer is, that's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm going to teach you guys. And on top of that, I'm not going to tell you like, hey, take this risk, take this risk. Don't do that until you know exactly what you're going to get into. And I love the example that I made up about, hey, if you're going to get into a car with your whole family, you don't know how to drive, would you drive it? The answer is no. Same thing with investing. You just don't go head into that stuff. No, you got to learn exactly what you're going to do and how the game actually works. That's the overall idea. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. And if you guys want to join me on my next call, well, links down below. Schedule an appointment from Monday to Friday. I'll give you a call. We'll talk for 30 minutes or less, whatever you want to do. And top about also follow me on my other channels, links down below also. And also follow me on Instagram, Bryson. And before I go, guys, thanks for watching. And as always,